What is going on today, YouTube? I'm back again. I know you're probably looking and wondering, why am I sitting in a chair behind my truck with a toothpick in my straw, in my mouth? So the reason for this video is because I'm going to explain and talk about things you should know before buying a diesel. More specific, it's going to be a 6.7 Cummins. And if this is your first time you're about to buy a diesel, or you're looking to a diesel, I highly recommend watching this video. Hear me out to the end. Even if you think one topic, because I'm going to mention multiple topics, if you think one topic I'm talking about is stupid, hear me out to the end, okay? This is my second diesel truck now I've owned. First one I owned was a 2006 F350 King Ranch 6.0 powerstroke. It was a good truck. I had my fair issues with it. It wasn't that bad. The only big thing about it was the whole head stud and oil cooler issue, and the EGR. Honestly, when it came to that truck, that was a big deal. So I had to park. Oh, and it was 2-wheel drive, and I can't take it. Even though I could have done a 4x4 conversion on it, but it was like $3,000. But whatever. But yeah, that was my first diesel truck. I had that for about a year. Sold that when I started. I crapped 2 injectors. I went on deployment, came back. Changed the oil and stuff, and within a month, the month of December, I crapped 2 injectors, number 1 and number 5, in that truck. Those trucks are notorious for they are notorious for a lot of stuff. So I'm not gonna talk about power strokes. That's not what this video is about. But just know that was my first diesel truck. I actually have like 2 videos way back or on my other YouTube channel. I have videos of that truck from like 2 years ago. But this video is gonna be mainly for the 6.7 Cummins, okay? So if you're getting a truck, Dodge Ram 2500, 3500 with a 6.7 that was built from 2007 and a half and up, okay? Now they've done minor upgrades throughout the years from then, but they haven't had to do a lot. One of the reasons why I believe people love Cummins so much is because simplicity. Cummins is an American company. It's based out of here in the U.S. They didn't go overseas to, even though Fiat and Chrysler have a deal now, but going back originally, they didn't go overseas to find contractors and engineers to make an engine to put in an American truck. Cummins is homegrown. So it's that, and it's an inline 6. It's a simple engine to work on. If you can watch videos and just read how to bolt on, bolt off stuff, you can work on the Cummins. I'm an aircraft mechanic. I've worked on anything from turbine engines to rotor systems, flight controls, and all that stuff. So I'm pretty mechanically inclined when it comes to working on these. But at the same time, I'm not a diesel mechanic, so I don't know every little thing about them. This is me as an average person talking to whoever's watching this video as hopefully another average person. Meaning you're just the average do-it-yourself guy. You know, you can read something, you can watch videos, and you'll be like, okay, I can do this. You know, that's how I roll. That's how I am. First thing, I have a list on my phone actually. First thing when it comes to the Cummins with the 6.7 is going to be, one second, I got to see it because I actually have a few things, and I'm gonna top this off in a good way, not a bad way, because by no means is this video is meant so you cannot buy a Cummins. It's just so you can be aware of what you're getting into, so you can research your options. You know what I'm saying? There's videos out there like what I like about my Cummins, what I don't like about my Cummins, but I don't think there's a real video out there saying what to know before you buy a 6.7. You know, there might be a couple out there, but hopefully this gets out to you guys and you guys can be able to figure it out. Alright, so the very first one, and I think everybody can agree with me when it comes to the 6.7 Cummins, is the transmission. Alright, if you have plans of building a truck, I'm talking engine, if you have plans of making that engine run and having a performer, you're going to have to build a transmission. You're going to have to build it. The model for it is a 68 RFE. You're going to have to build it. There's no way around it. You will fry that transmission once you start pushing 550, 600 horses. Actually, probably maybe even 450, 500. But nonetheless, you're going to burn it. So you're going to have to do it in conjunction with whatever you're trying to do in your engines. Now, you might be saying, well, that's not a big deal. You know, I can just swap out the torque converter and I'm good. Well, it's not the torque converter only that makes that transmission faulty. That transmission blueprint came from the minivan, the Caravan. Okay. The previous transmissions they had in it, I think it was the 48 RFE, and that's why a lot of people do 68 to 48 conversions. The 48s came from, I'm pretty sure that was just a heavy duty truck engine. It was either that or like they had those in the race cars back in the day. But nonetheless, if you're gonna upgrade the 68 RFE transmission, you have to do a torque converter. You have to do your valve body. You have to upgrade the splines. I mean, there's websites, companies out there like Suncoast, ATS, that they have built up beefy 68 RFEs, but one of the problems is that even with that, it's rated to a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't go past that amount, because if you do, you're going to void your warranty and you're not going to get back nothing. And you have to take it to a certified installer. If you buy the transmission and install it yourself, you're not going to get a warranty. So you're going to be paying for labor for someone else to do it on top of paying for the transmission itself. I just got off the phone actually with somebody from Suncoast because I was just curious. My truck's a 68 RFE too, so this is how I know. And I asked him how much would it be to get a built. Well, first I asked him if I can do a 68 to G56 conversion, which is the 6-speed manual for these models. And he said they don't do those really. And I was like, okay, well, what about a built 68? And he's like, well, it depends on how much horsepower. I said, what about 650 real world horsepower? He said, well, for 650 we could put a junior. We'll upgrade your transmission to a junior. You're looking at about $7,800. I said, okay. So you guys got a military discount? He said, yeah, we give 5% off. Long story short, so you're telling me if you want to build transmission, you got to pay all that money just to get a transmission that can hold up to the engine. So the problem is that it's not the engine that this video is going to steer you away from. The problem, one of the biggest things when it comes to getting a 3rd gen or 6.7 Cummins, because it's going to have either a 68 or a G56 in it, is the transmission. 68s, you have to, if you take the transmission out and swap it with another one, you have to reflash the transmission, because it's computer controlled through the ECM. It's controlled and it has to get flashed. Okay, I think that's kind of a disadvantage when you're paying all this money for a good running diesel truck, because by no means is a 6.7 a joke. It can do everything. It can pull, it can haul, it can do it all. I've hauled across from one side of the country to the other side with my trailer right here. I hauled 6,000 pounds from San Diego to North Carolina, and it handled it like a champ. Granted, it was stock back then, and I didn't have any DGR delete, DPF delete, but it handled it, and it did good. The transmission didn't go over 160 degrees, and that's including driving through Texas, Arizona, you know what I'm saying, where it was 110, 115 degrees. So it's just, when it's stock, it's strong, it's good. You change the oil, you change the filter, it's gonna last you a long time. When it comes to adding power, so if you get in the truck and you're trying to add power, you're gonna have to upgrade the transmission. I mean, shoot, even my transmission right now, it's good, knock on wood, but it's good. But at the same time, you know, it's gonna go out eventually, and I have to be prepared for that, which is why I personally started to look into the G56 conversion. If I can do it all over again, I would have gotten a manual 6.7 with the G56, because you swap out, put a, for example, South Bend clutch in it. Those clutches are awesome. They'll last you a good bit. You put that in, pay $1,200, put it in yourself, you're good. You know, I wish if I would have known the information I know now, and this is why I'm putting this video out for people like my situation who didn't know. But if I would have known, I would have went with a manual all day. 6-speed, I would have went with 6-speed G56, mega cab, 3rd gen, 4th gen, I would have went with it. I didn't. I went with the 68 because at the time I was knowledgeable. Coming from the 604, as crappy as the engine was, the transmission was a boss hog. It was solid. There was nothing wrong with the transmission. I mean, you can put up to 800 horsepower on a stock transmission on the 604 and it would handle it. But that's not the case with this guy. But it's all good though. So yes, be aware. That's number one. Be aware of the transmission. 68 RFE. Now if you're doing little mods like a tuner, straight back exhaust, straight pipe exhaust, you know, 5-inch, 4-inch, whatever, with a tuner, port air intake, you're good. You're gonna be fine. Don't worry about the transmission. You can run it at the hottest tuner, you'll be fine. I run mine on hot. I got an H&S Mini Max, and I run mine on performance, and it's handled good. Transmission temps don't spike. It doesn't slip. You can actually, even with the H&S, you can actually do trans tuning, which is kind of cool because EFI Live doesn't do that. You can go ahead and bump up the shift firmness, and it'll bump the line pressure up. EFI Live will bump the line pressure up, but it will not adjust anything with the shift firmness. Shift firmness is a big deal when it comes to more power, because the more power and the weaker the shift is, the harder it's going to be for the internal clutch inside of an automatic transmission to be able to catch, so it can pick up the next gear. So having a strong shift is going to be good for the long term. So mean, that's been pretty good for me. What else? That was it for the transmission. Just be cautious. That's all I'm saying. By no means am I trying to steer you away from a 6.7 Cummins, but just be cautious of getting a 6.7. If you're worried about if you don't want to put a bunch of money into the transmission. But it's foolish because any vehicle you have and you plan on putting massive power into it, you're gonna have to upgrade the transmission. But it's really expensive with the 6.7 Cummins because of that 68 RFE. They're just, people don't like dealing with them. Retailers and dealers, when it comes to that, they'll do it, they'll take your money and do it, but they don't like dealing with it because they know they're gonna see that transmission back within a year. So, I mean, I think was it Turbo Tom or Tuba Tom has a channel. He has a race truck, single cab 6.7. He did a 68 RFE back to a 48 RFE conversion, and it looks pretty cool. You know, it looks like a lot of work, but it's a thing. So that might be an option too. So, you know, you can consider that. So that's enough about that. The next one is going to be the transfer case. Okay, so rolling into the transfer case. The transfer case, I know a lot of young people, when they get into a diesel, the first thing they want to do is a 4-wheel drive burnout. I hate to burst your bubble, but you can't do that with a 6.7. If you do that with a 6.7, and when I say 6.7, I mean a 6.7 because all 6.7s are going to have, if it's automatic, it's going to be a 68. It's going to have the same transfer case style. So with that, if you do a boosted 4x4 launch, you are going to destroy your transfer case. Now that might apply also to the 5.9s and other diesels. I'm not sure because I don't own any of them, but I know for a fact with the 6.7 you will do that. Double R Diesel, I forgot his name, but he has a video talking about that, which is pretty good to know. If you're pushing over 600 horsepower, do not do 4-wheel drive boosted launches because you will destroy your transfer case. Like, I think it's like the actuator or something. So don't do that. So transfer case is hit and miss. You don't see too many people talking about transfer case issues because it really isn't. People don't really do crazy stuff like that. I feel like it's usually young people who love doing that stuff. People who they're insane. They're crazy when it comes to power. Head studs. That's my next one. Is head studs. Okay. By no means is a 6.7 a head stud monster. Meaning you have to worry about putting head studs on or blowing head gasket as soon as you get the truck. It's far from that. The reason why I mention head studs is because a lot of times people will get the truck and they're like, it's a Cummins, man, they can handle anything, and they will run the stock heads, upgrade. They'll put a Borg Warner, with the SX 400 series turbo. They'll put compounds, whatever turbos, have all this air running through their engines into their cylinder walls in the block, and they blow a head gasket. And they're like, what the heck? It's a Cummins. Like, Cummins aren't known for head gaskets. Well, yes, they are. Any vehicle is known for that. If you're pushing massive amounts of air into the cylinders and that head can't hold itself down, and you're gonna blow a gasket. It's just the nature of the beast. So be aware of that. If you do plan on doing big mods, you definitely want to put head studs on. Let that be one of your first jobs. Don't buy the cheap Chinese knockoffs. Buy ARP. ARP head studs will work. Okay, don't settle for the eBay crappy ones, the little cheap ones for $160. No, pay the $400 or something, or $1,100 for the upgraded ones, and get you some good head studs. I have to actually do head studs on this soon before I do the turbo because I don't want that issue. Next one is going to be parts cost. This one can go both ways because it's just one of those things where it's like some parts are cheap, some parts aren't. Change the oil on this truck is cheap. Oil filter is like $12. It's not even, I don't think it's $12 at Walmart. You can run Valvoline. It's not like some diesels where you have to run their oil or you have to run a certain type. Pretty much as long as it's 1540 and it says diesel oil on it, this truck will take it. I've ran Valvoline Blue in this truck for over a year, and I've had no complaints with it. I recently switched to Shell's Rotella, and I think it's a little better for the truck. I feel like it helps her out a little bit, but yeah, parts do cost a little bit for this truck. Depending on what it is, it can be as cheap as $10 for a crankshaft sensor, like I've had to change on this before, or it can be as much as $1,200 to get your AC system fixed because there's a vacuum system. The vacuum actuator doors behind the dashboard got stuck, so you can't get air blowing through your vents. It only blows through the dash or through the floor. And if you pay to get that fixed, it's $1,200 because I had to pay that at Dodge one time to get it fixed. So just because of labor. I mean, the parts only cost like $400. So the parts are kind of pricey for this truck. I know for like a second gen 24 valve and 12 valves, you might be able to get, I know for a fact for 12 valves you can inject a set of like 100 over horse injectors for like, I don't know, like $400 or $350, like good brand stuff. It's not like that with this truck. If you know, even a stock replacement, brand new stock replacement injector, you're looking at $350 a pop. So parts are kind of pricey depending on what type of maintenance you're doing. But here's the thing with the truck. The positive thing about this truck is that it's so low maintenance. It really is. Like, this truck is, the motor is extremely low maintenance. Like, if I got one check light engine on my truck, and that was when my alternator was going out because I don't know, something happened with the terminal board, but that was the only time I ever had a check engine light on this truck. So it's extremely low maintenance. Nothing goes wrong. If you keep clean oil in this truck and keep filling it up, and it's gonna run pretty much. Depending on how you treat it though, it might determine how long it's gonna run for. But this is a good truck. 6.7 is a very strong engine. One thing I love about Dodge and more so Cummins, because that's the company who makes it. Cummins is a company. Cummins does not belong to Chrysler. Cummins is their own company. They make engines for Dodge, for Chrysler. They make engines for now Nissan. They make engines for 18-wheelers, big rigs, everything. They have a huge program. So I actually wouldn't mind working for them. But yes, one thing that Cummins did so good with this engine is that they kept it simple. From, was it 94, or whenever they started putting 12 valves in, I think it was 91 or 89, something like that. From that day to now, if you was to pull first gen Cummins up to a 6.7 Cummins, there's going to be a few differences, but for the most part, you're going to look at what is mostly the same compared to all the other companies. You pull a 7.3 power stroke up to a 6.0, 6.4, 6.7, they all look completely different, especially the 6.7, because that was the one Ford first started making. They look all different. If you pull a, Duramax, those look the same for the most part. They look the same. They've been the same since the 6.6 since they came out with the Duramax in the early 2000s. But before that, I think it was the Detroit diesel. So Cummins it's reputable. It's reputable. It's been here for a while. The concept is simple. You have 6 inline pistons to where the pistons are bigger compared to V8 pistons, and it's going to create more the combustion is going to be harder, and it's going to create more thrust because of the 6 inline pistons on the crank compared to a V style where you have them slanted, and it's just straight up hardcore up and down motion. It's an awesome theory and an awesome concept, and it's worked. It's proven. Obviously, you guys know about the Million Mile Cummins, where they go a million miles and they even have the Million Mile Cummins Club. I think that's cool. I don't see things like that with Duramax and Power Stroke, just because, especially Power Stroke. But yeah, I think that's good though. The Cummins engine is very strong and it's very reliable. Stock, this engine was making 325 horses and 550 or 650 torque, pounds-feet of torque. This is a 2008 6.7, so this is the early 6.7 models. I'm sure if you get a 2017, those ones are making like 900 foot-pounds. So they've done things to the truck to make them better. The next one is going to be the DPF and the EGR. So if you buy a 6.7 stock brand new, it's going to have emission equipment installed on it. Now, depending on if it's a 2013 and newer versus older, the 2013 and newer is going to have DEF. So it's going to have the diesel particulate, or it's going to have the diesel fluid, whatever. They added that in like 2013, but prior to that, it's going to still have the same system except not with DEF in it. So you don't have to add DEF to it. The emission system on it destroys the truck. It's pretty much equivalent to farting and sucking the air back into your body. That's all it's doing. When the EGR system and DPF system is installed, no smoke comes out the truck, because the canister underneath the truck, the filter, it catches all of it. And what happens is when it catches it, the filters get full, and then it burns it off with the DEF fluid. But in this case, this truck has Blue Tech on it, which is some weird system they got from Mercedes, but pretty much it'll just spray diesel in there and just burn it at high temps. Your mileage is going to drop to about 11.5 miles a gallon, because that's what I was getting when I had that crap installed on my truck. If anything, I recommend get rid of it ASAP. I'm going to make a video here soon on top 3 things you should do when buying a 6.7 Cummins, and that is going to be the number 1 is delete the DPF. Get that crap off your truck because you're wasting your money. I think it's a shame that I think it's a shame that you pay, us workers pay so much money for these trucks, and the government forces them to install crap like that onto the trucks, and these people are going to lose out on the truck because it's pretty much going to it's going to kill itself over time. You will not get 1,000,000 miles out of the DPF EGR installed Cummins. I'm just telling you that right now. So especially, and then on top of that, it's more maintenance because every certain amount of miles you have to clean. You have to clean the EGR valve. That's money, time. You have to make sure the filter isn't messed up. You have to keep up with the DEF fluid and stuff. So, and then if you run out of DEF while driving, it puts your truck into a limp mode, so it doesn't hurt it. And then also, so you don't go faster than like 20 miles an hour or something. So definitely, it will have a DPF EGR on it if it's a 6.7 stock. If you get one aftermarket, that's cool, but make sure that it was done right and make sure that they didn't abuse the truck or dog it out after doing that. Because a lot of people, they'll do an EGR DPF delete and they'll be like, it's a race truck now, which is far from true. So just keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying? All these things is good to know if you're a first-time diesel buyer, first-time 6.7 buyer. It's good to know because you never know what somebody may have done to the truck or not have done to the truck. So just keep that in mind. DPF EGR delete, get rid of it. It's garbage. Get you a kit. A bunch of websites have them. I got mine off of Rudy's Diesel. It came with a 5-inch Flow Pro exhaust, H&S Minimax, S&B cold air intake, and all the block-off plates for a little over $1,000, which is really good. So my last one is going to be, it says it's not my last one, but it's my last one on the phone. Next one's gonna be suspension. First of all, if you're getting a 2,500, 3,500 truck, expecting it to ride like a Cadillac, you need to go somewhere else. Get you a Grand Marquis or a Chevy Caprice or something, And I love those cars, by the way. But this ain't the truck. If you're trying to get something riding smooth, it's a stiff truck. It's a straight axle in the front and it's stiff. Before the 4th gens came out, which was like 2010, the 3rd gens and back, notorious for the steering shafts being wobbly. The steering shafts are crap. You have to change them out, put a Borgeson steering shaft in it. If you want a tight, solid steering wheel, ball joints, they don't even put greasable ball joints on the trucks when they come from the factory, which is a shame because they force you to want to take it back so they can change out the ball joints and charge you out the ass. The suspension is stiff and rough. They put crappy shocks on it from start. I recommend if you're keeping the stock height, going with some Bilstein 5100s. I run that. They run pretty good, and they're going to last for a good bit. So I definitely recommend those. That's really it, though. But if you go into aftermarket suspension and stuff, you won't really have to worry about that for the most part, as long as you don't cheap out. If you cheap out and just settle for, Monroe or whatever the other craps are, you're probably not going to get your money's worth. Pay the extra money, get Bilsteins, or if you want to do like Fox BDS, those are really good. They're even more, but once again, you pay for what you get. Keep in mind when you upgrade suspension such as leveling kit or lift kit, it's not just that. You got to make sure everything else is good too. So you got to make sure your sway links are good and they're upgraded. You got to make sure your ball joints are good for it. Make sure your tie rod ends are good. People put 6-inch lifts and run stock parts, and then they truck rides like crap, or they end up snapping a tie rod or something. So make sure you do your research and upgrade the parts around it too. Just to FYI. My last one, and it's not on my phone, is going to be injectors. 6.7, I don't know why they did this, but I think this was a plot for them to get people to come in for more money. The injectors are not bad, are known for failing. They are not. They're really good injectors. They're Bosch. Bosch is a German company. They make really good, high quality parts. Volkswagen, Audi, all the German companies use Bosch. Bosch is really good. But if you have to change an injector on your truck, on a 6.7, you have to program the new injector. You cannot just swap the injector like on the 5.9, swap them, install, crank, you're good. No, you have to install, you have to get it programmed to that specific cylinder. Why they did that, I have no freaking idea, but that's the way it is. They have to flash the ECM when they put in a new injector in. So, just know that, if you're gonna swap out your stock injectors to go up oversized, you will have to get the new ones programmed. A way around that, don't upgrade the injector, just upgrade the nozzle. If you keep the same injector and just swap the nozzle out, it's the same injector. It's connected to the same terminal. You're good. So that's the route I'm taking. I'm doing injector nozzle upgrades. one thing I recommend is don't do injector nozzle upgrades if the truck has crazy amounts of miles on it. So if it's like pushing 250, if it's pushing 200,000 on stock injectors, don't waste your money on putting nozzles only, because injectors are eventually going to go bad just because they're getting high mileage on them. If you get high mileage injectors, I would recommend replacing the injector and just keeping it like that. That way you don't damage anything like that. So you'll save your money in the long run, because the last thing you want to do is put tips on old injectors and then you're going to blow the injector and then you're going to destroy it. So just keep that in mind. I think that's a faulty and grimy move they've done by forcing programming of the injectors to each cylinder. That's just a way for them to get more money. It sucks, but keep that in mind. But then also don't forget about the nozzle trick, where you can upgrade the nozzle and keep the same injector, but don't do it on old injectors, you know what I'm saying? So those are the things I want you guys to know about when it comes to owning a 6.7 Cummins. Hopefully you guys know about this and can watch this before you make your choice if you want to purchase it. This video is not a do not buy a 6.7 Cummins video by no means. I have nothing bad to say about the 6.7 engine. Everything I mentioned to you is things that you need to know about. It's not bad things, but things you need to know. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing bad to badmouth about the 6.7. It's a solid engine, extremely low maintenance, and extremely easy to work on. I mean, you got if your buddy got his truck, you know, V8, powerstroke Duramax, take a look at it, and you'll see how much room you got to work with, which is nothing. A 6.7, you have a nice bit of room to work with, which makes doing maintenance yourself a lot easier, and you're gonna save money in the long run. So keep that in mind for sure. I love my truck. It's easy to work on. I love working on it. Sorry about that, my camera clicked out. So I love working on my truck. It's always fun and something new I'm learning about it. But I just hope this video helps you guys out. Also, along with that, thank you so much for watching this channel, watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up and a like. Sorry the video was kind of long, but I know if only one person watched this video, I know that it's going to help that one person, because they're getting the information they need. And if they don't believe it, they can always Google it and something's going to come up about it. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and a thumbs up, because that really helps the channel. That really helps out when it comes to search control on YouTube, because that's how YouTube operates nowadays. So I really appreciate it. Along with that, thank you for all my Instagram followers. You guys are awesome. The Instagram page is getting huge. We're almost at 100 followers. I want to get to 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel also. If you watched the last video, you know what I'm going to do when I hit 100 subscribers, so I'm not going to say it again. But yes, please, if you like this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I got more content coming. Every video is not going to be bait video, clickbait and all that. Like, I'm going to have installation and more mods coming to the truck. It's just a matter of money. Not everybody has sponsors and buku amount of money just sitting around where they can just dump 20 G's into their truck. Some people actually have to work, save up, do it, work, save up, do it, repeat. So it takes time. No project was built in a weekend too. So keep that in mind if you're working on a project and you've been working on it for a minute. As long as you stay focused and committed, it's going to get done eventually, and that's the most rewarding thing out of it. So if you, once again, I know I said before, but like the video, comment, subscribe. People who comment, I comment to every single thing on here and on Instagram. So if you're commenting and staying engaged, I appreciate it so much. People have been DMing, direct messaging me on Instagram and messaging me through YouTube and stuff, and emailing me, telling me things about the truck build, saying how it's awesome and keep it up and stuff like that. I really appreciate all of you guys. You guys are badass and awesome, and I don't curse a lot on YouTube, but I fucking love you guys. I appreciate it so much for the support. So nonetheless, you guys take care, peace out, and I will catch y'all next time.